You want me to put that on my Tudor?
Harry's wife. I've always been a feminist. Yes, the bullshit alarm has just gone off as a consequence of the fact that the phrase that I have just uttered on behalf of Harry's wife, namely, I've always been a feminist, is utter bullshit. It's a steaming pile of manure. It's a delusion, a concoction, at odds with her behaviour. Harry's wife has a deluded view of herself. That is occasioned by her narcissism. If she were to realise that she was a talentless nobody, she would not pursue the prime aims with anywhere near the level of efficiency or vigour that is required to enable her to get through life. As a narcissist, she doesn't have the same coping mechanisms that you, as non-narcissists, have. Instead, to enable her to get through life, to survive, and also thrive, her narcissism was created to make up for certain deficiencies that existed. For many narcissists, their narcissism enables them to have a superior lifestyle to many people. But for the majority of narcissists, it leads to being mired in delusion, a haphazard, crass life of lurching from one problem to another, of bleating about being a victim, of papering over the cracks of their inabilities and inefficiencies. Nevertheless, that is what the narcissism does. And for Harry's wife, it is unable, it is systematically not programmed to allow her to see what she actually is. It's not programmed to allow her to realise that she's empty on the inside. It's not programmed to let her realise that whatever she talks about is deathly dull. Instead, it makes her believe that she's uber-talented, fascinating, a great spokesperson, interesting to talk to, with unique and groundbreaking ideas. And one of the aspects of the facade that is generated is to make her believe that she's a feminist, but not only a feminist, but she's always been a feminist. Her narcissism creates this bullshit idea within her mind so that she believes she's always been one. Therefore, she repeatedly makes reference to it, triangulating people with the concept of being a feminist, cozying up to Gloria Steinem and using her. How Gloria Steinem hasn't realised that this grifter is using her, well, it's anybody's guess. But the fact is, that's what's been going on. She uses feminism as a device to control people, to draw fuel from them, to get character traits and residual benefits. But I hear some say, well, she says that she's always been a feminist, and you call that bullshit, HG. How so? Very simple. As I always encourage you to do, you go to the evidence. What do we see as evidence of her feminism? Is she regularly, accurately providing action to support women's rights? Parental leave. Nothing happened. 40 by 40, nothing happened. Where are all these young women that she's empowering? She piggybacks other people's projects. But where does she actually engage in active feminism? Is she out there marching on the streets, perhaps in a city where women are subjected to sex attacks, wanting to reclaim those streets? No. She might turn up like the ghoul that she is at Uvalde, but she doesn't turn up to man the barricade, so to speak. That's too much like hard work. Where is she campaigning, handing out the leaflets? If she was that passionate, as she always claims to be, about advocating feminism, you would see her boots on the ground. Except you don't. Why? Because, as always, Her narcissism prefers for her to talk about it, rather than for her to get down and dirty and do it. But there's more to it than just that confirmation that it's bullshit by simply the fact that she doesn't deliver. Not only does she not deliver in the provision of feminist action, but she behaves in a way which completely flies in the face of feminism. She's meant to be there speaking about equality, supporting women's rights. Where is she condemning the erosion of women's rights with regard to the behaviour of certain trans individuals? Complete silence from Harry's wife. How is she supporting feminism when in all her acting roles they've essentially been playing shallow hot girl? She was in a Miller Lite advertisement as a bartender with a tight top on with her briefcase boobs on display. She appeared in the toe-curling Men's Health burger flipping advertisement. Where's the feminism in that? As she attempted to shag the camera. She was 90210 BJ Girl. Great advert for feminism. Suck somebody off in a car. She played cute FedEx girl in Horrible Bosses. She was a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal. And her character Rachel in Suits spent most of her time getting her kit off and trying to sashay around looking sexy for the camera. Forgive me, but where is the feminism in any of that? But there's more. Not only has she always taken roles which are based upon looks and sexuality, which flies in the face of feminism, she equates somehow that you can be feminine and involved in feminism by putting on makeup. That shallow observation demonstrates not only does she not really understand what feminism is about, but she just utilizes it for her own purposes. And then, if you will, the final nail in the coffin to demonstrate that it's complete horseshit with regard to her assertion that she's always been a feminist, who does she rely on to make her way through the world? Her own talents and abilities? Well, if that talent is a narcissism, the answer would be yes. But that talent is actually not only not standing up for other women but using them, but relying on men. Dearest Papa, now disengaged from, was relied upon to put her through school, to support her financially and get her acting gigs. First or second husband, depending on who you ask, Trevor Engelson. He was utilised with his contacts in the film industry to get her roles within the industry itself. She pounced off Corey the chef with regard to his connections, his networks, and also being a foodie, character trait acquisition. And finally, the biggest anti-feminist act that she has ever engaged in is that she is only known because she is Harry's wife. She is only known around the world because she married a ginger prince. She doesn't do anything for women. She regularly uses women and is nasty about them. Witness Princess of Wales. Witness the friends that she's thrown to one side. Ninaki Pridi, for example. The way that she's treated other women that she's been involved with. And the fact that the roles that she's taken are as far as from feminism as you can get without straying into porn, and that she's regularly relied upon men to give her a leg up. I've always been a feminist, says Harry's wife, her narcissism driving that announcement. The evidence tells us to the contrary. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.